Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nicolette Hodge. I am an injured warrior here in the Midwest, standing with and representing Master Solomon, the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one. He is the Son of Man and our Messiah. Brothers and sisters, we will not let these devils sweep under the rug, minimize what they did to us. The Holocaust. It's not slavery. It's not a critical race theory. It was merciless, relentless, torture, terrorization, unspeakable acts done to us. They raped us, sodomized us, ate our flesh, boiled us alive, scalped us, used our hair as cushion and pillows, used our bodies as furniture, step stools, chairs, floor mats, bed warmers, foot warmers. They burned us at the stake for any celebration party. They had another president, Jefferson or Washington. Anytime they elected another president, their inauguration festivities included burning us at the stake. They fed our babies to alligator, used us as bait for wild animals. They force-fed us human and animal feces. The average life expectancy for us was only 22 years of age. They completely dehumanized us, brothers and sisters. And the biggest debauchery that they did to us was force us. They raped us and forced us to carry their devil seed, which now we are plagued with the demons. These black-faced devils, these house Negroes, black on the outside, white on the inside, who were put into place to further terrorize us and keep us programmed within this Holocaust. Brothers and sisters, they're working overtime to diminish and sweep under the rug what they did to us so that they can get out of their judgment. They know that they are dead wrong and they are guilty as charged. If they didn't think it was anything wrong with what they did, then they would be broadcasting it. They would be teaching in the schools to their devil children just how evil their nature really is. They cannot get out of their judgment. They cannot get out of consequence. They have created their own consequence. They have created their own judgment. If they were nice and sweet and caring to us, then their judgment would be nice and sweet and caring. But they had no mercy. They had no restrictions. Therefore, their judgment is going to be merciless without any restrictions. Everything they did to us is coming back on them double time. Brothers and sisters, they're not getting out of this one, and you better stop allowing them to call it slavery and critical race theory. It is the Holocaust. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Today we are going to speak about the Abrahamic Covenant, an agreement and contract that Allah made with us before we came over here and began our 466 years of torture and enslavement. We're going to speak about this Abrahamic Covenant. We're going to speak about our enemies of the Abrahamic Covenant. And we're going to explore why it is that they are enemies of the Abrahamic Covenant. Alright, so we're going to get right into it. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram. And lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners, that means temporary, in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. But thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age, and in the fourth generation they shall come hither, which means return, again. For the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a flaming torch that passed between these pieces. And that day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. The Kenite, and the Kenizzite, and the Catamite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Rephaim, and the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Girgashite, and the Jebusite. Okay, brothers and sisters, this is the Abrahamic Covenant. This can be found in Genesis. There are 3 main points to this Abrahamic Covenant. It states what would happen to us, the time frame of how long we would be going through this servitude and affliction, and then it outlines where we will return to. So what would happen to us? We will be sojourners in a land that is not ours, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 400 years. Okay, and then that is the 2 points right there. It says what will happen right there, and then how long. The time period for this 400 years of affliction was from 1619 to 2019. We gave them 64 years to produce what you are calling the first slave, which is really the first Negro bot. Those of us original brothers and sisters that is programmed to self-destruct without asking any questions. We came over in 1555. We gave them 64 years to strip us of knowledge of self, take away our mother tongue, strip us of our names, our unification with each other. They threw our babies into cages and raised them as beasts. And then the 3rd point is where we return to. This is the part that the chief demon Legion, Louis Eugene Grounds, ION backwards, which is the NOI backwards, Legion, Louis Farrakhan refuses to read this part of the covenant that says exactly where we are returning to. Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river of Euphrates. Now in between these 2 rivers is our land Arabia, which has been renamed by the House of Saud, our enemies. This is a full and complete contract. It doesn't make any sense to read a portion of the contract or agreement that was made to us by Allah himself. And so with Farrakhan coming in and only reading the top part of the Abrahamic Covenant and refusing to read the part that clearly states that we are going home, he is proving and telling on himself that he is one of them. He is the one and the same nature of the one that afflicted us. He is afflicting us just by refusing to read this Abrahamic Covenant to us, yet he's in our face lying, saying that he is our brother. Brothers and sisters, he's a devil. Okay, and there is no place for him in our land, Arabia. He knows that. And not only that, he doesn't want to leave here because he is longing for the love and acceptance of his swine daddies, of his father, which is Massa. And so it is against his nature to even tell you the truth about this Abrahamic Covenant. And so that's why he is lying to us and telling us that we are staying here, we ain't going nowhere, when the Abrahamic Covenant clearly states that we are going back home. Now, what we need to understand is that everyone is against this Abrahamic Covenant because this covenant is specifically for us. And if you have knowledge of this Abrahamic Covenant, then you have a vision. They don't want us to have a vision because a people without a vision perish. And so they've been putting their vision on us of the American dream, which is a nightmare. Now, Master Solomon, the Son of Man, has unsealed all 22 chapters of Revelations. He has provided us an angel key as a means to not only check the information, however, to mathematically be able to understand what the scriptures are telling us. The scriptures are mathematical parables or riddles. This is the language that we speak. Our enemies cannot understand any of these scriptures. They take everything literal. And by him giving us this angel and the angel key, we are now able to unseal scriptures throughout the whole Bible, because the mathematical formula is the same. Once you understand the mathematical formula, you can go solve any problem. And so, with this Abraham covenant, they are not allowed to speak about this Abrahamic covenant in any institution, your religion, your church, within the NOY. No one is speaking about this covenant. They're not allowed to, because they cannot have us walking around here knowing that we have a reward for our 400 years of servitude and affliction. And so, who are our enemies, brothers and sisters? Let's see. Here we have the chief demon legion, Louis Eugene Grounds. ION stands for the NOI backwards. Farrakhan is sitting in Elijah's seat and misleading our people. The story of Exodus tells us that Aaron, which is Farrakhan, would sit in Elijah's seat and mislead the people for 42 years. This is after Moses, which is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, departs. And during this time frame, the brothers and sisters within the NOY, and the demons, got impatient. And Farrakhan took it upon himself to dissolve all the assets, put them in his pocket, and completely throw away all the teachings that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad brought to us. And he turned all the temples into mosques, moved all the chairs out the way, put mats on the floor, put our brothers on their hands and knees, and had everyone worshiping this golden calf, which is Sunniism. Sunnis are one of our enemies. They are sitting in our land, as I explained. They have renamed our land, and they're working hand in hand with Farrakhan to make sure that we don't ever know that we have an inheritance. Farrakhan is, let's see, what's the best way to put it? He is capitalizing and he is benefiting off of us not knowing about this covenant, because he's getting paid off. And with him working with the Sunnis, and you accepted Sunniism and standing behind it, you have completely annulled and given up your place within the Abrahamic Covenant, because the Sunnis are not in the Abrahamic Covenant. The Abrahamic Covenant is for the original black man and woman that is right here in America undergoing this servitude and affliction for the 400-year time period. Now, the 400-year time period lasted from 1619 to 2019. 2020 came in with a plague, hitting Egypt, all the European nations, mainly America, and knocking out these Egyptians, the European Caucasian devils, passing over us, God's people. There are those who understand this Abrahamic covenant. However, they have sold out. Ishmael, he knows that this Abrahamic covenant is for us. He is purposely reading the top portion of the covenant, will not read the bottom where it says that we are going home. Not only that, he makes mockery of us going back home to North Africa, which is Arabia. And he thinks it's a big old joke. Eric Muhammad, he claims that he is with the messenger and is following his teachings. However, he cannot recognize the Son of Man here on the scene. The messenger told us that the next one to come after him will be God himself. He can't recognize that, nor does he want complete and total separation. He's asking for reparations just like Farrakhan is. Silas Muhammad, he knows the truth. He knows that we are going home. He knows that we are here only for a specific time period of 400 years. But he's getting money in his pocket by lying to our people and giving them false hope. Brothers and sisters, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came in the 1930s and taught us that we are gods and goddesses. We are God's people, that we're living out Exodus, that we are going home to our land. He established the NOI and gave us a place to do for self and have our own as we prepare for the Son of Man to come on the scene and lead us home. That was the whole entire message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Ishmael knows this. Eric Muhammad knows this. Silas Muhammad knows this. And Louis, lying hypocrite Farrakhan knows this as well. The biggest thing we need to understand about Farrakhan is that he is the son of a devil. He loves devils. He calls them his brother. His father, Percival Clark, a false Jew, is a devil. Therefore, Farrakhan is a devil man. That's what a demon is. And he wants to stay here with his swine devil daddies. That's fine. The problem comes in where he is manipulating and deceiving our people into thinking that you want to stay here as well. Now, America and Britain. The messenger was on the scene in 1930s teaching that we are gods and goddesses and that we're going home. The next one to come after him will be God himself, and that is the one who would lead us home, which is Master Solomon, who is here on the scene right now. In 1948, the Son of Man was conceived. He is the Christ. At the same time, false Israel was conceived, the Antichrist. Okay? And this was a direct result of America and Britain covering up the narrative and the truth of us being the true seed of Abraham and that we are going back home. They had to establish a lie, which is false Israel, over in the Middle East, to say that they are the seed of Abraham. And the false Jews are the most hated of their people. But they would rather give that to the false Jews than have us walking around here being empowered, knowing that we have a inheritance for our suffering. The church is not allowed to speak about this Abrahamic covenant because there is nothing or no benefit to religion at all, and specifically Christianity, if you know that you are God's people, brothers and sisters. The whole thing about religion, it is a tool that is put in place to terrorize us and keep us in fear. If you remove the fear of going to hell, which is a lie, if you remove that fear away from Christianity, no one will be in the church at all. However, Massa put his demon deacons, his black-faced children, these preachers and ministers in our face to keep us confused about what these scriptures are really saying to us. Not only that, they don't have the thought power to even comprehend what these scriptures are saying, because if they understood what the Bible was saying, they wouldn't even want to touch it. And so these demons are under instructions not to even speak about the Abrahamic Covenant. Yet, the Abrahamic Covenant is the reason behind all of this chaos that we are seeing today. They are working overtime to hide this covenant because this covenant goes hand in hand with the Holocaust. The Holocaust is evidence of the Abrahamic Covenant. And so, these are our enemies, brothers and sisters. We have plenty more. Everyone around us is our enemy. Okay, everyone is against us having our own and going back home. All right, and the reason why is because they are using us for our creativity and our innovation. We are the wealth of America. And if you were truly empowered and knew who you are, brothers and sisters, these devils will no longer have any control over us. And they cannot have that. They take our creativity, our innovation, and they make money off of it. They throw us back the trash. And they have us so busy glorifying the trash that they give us. Drugs, alcohol, entertainment, sports, religion. This American nightmare that says that you have to go invest all your time and energy into their school's institution, getting these degrees, getting in debt, and then taking these jobs, which is a plantation. We're still in slavery. Understand that. We were in agricultural slavery. Now we are in industrial slavery. And they're telling us to get a career on this plantation. Find a massa, get into this career, and work it until you damn near dead. Get your retirement, your 401k, your pension. And they have deceived us into thinking that this is a fulfilling life. Now, what we need to understand, brothers and sisters, is that in order to even comprehend this Abrahamic covenant of us completely and totally separating and going home, your thought power, your thought pressure will have to be strong enough to climb up out of this reality. The devils and demons cannot overcome this reality because this reality is what created them. So they cannot step away from their very nature of democracy, capitalism, stealing, killing, destroying. However, brothers and sisters, that is not our nature. Now, with us overcoming this reality, that means that we are returning to our knowledge of self. We do that with the angel, which is our God mind, brothers and sisters. This mathematical language that we understand. And the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam, which is our very nature of discipline. You cannot have the angel without the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam. That's like having a gun with no bullets. And you cannot have the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam without having the angel. It's like having bullets with no gun. So they both go hand in hand with each other. Now, the angel is our God mind. The 5 mathematical pillars of Islam is our God nature of discipline. Now, the angel tells us what's going to happen before it happens. The angel keeps us ahead, several steps ahead of our enemies. It allows us to move at a faster rate. The mathematical pillar, let me say it like this, the angel is our vehicle that allows us to move at a faster rate. However, the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam is like our fuel for the vehicle. Okay, that's why I said you can't have one without the other. This understanding of the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam is how we gain that momentum to climb up out of this reality, or to escape this reality, or to climb up out of the gravitational vortex. Now, consequence. These devils don't understand consequence. They're very confused about this. For every action, there is an opposite or equal reaction. They have taken consequence completely away from us, or completely away from our thinking. Yet consequence is what we are seeing every day. And what they did is they put this religion in front of us and told us, as long as you obey Master, you accept this devil in a dress that they're calling Jesus as your Lord and Savior, consequence don't matter. You can sin, you can do whatever you want, and you're going to heaven, you're saved. Meanwhile, we're experiencing consequence on a daily basis. And they're keeping us helpless by telling us throughout this prayer, you pray, and that's why things are having a good outcome in your life. And because you didn't pray or you haven't accepted Jesus in your heart is why you're going through these different unpleasant experiences. And it keeps us constantly looking outside of ourselves and being helpless. Consequence and understanding of every action has an opposite or equal reaction empowers us to make wise decisions. Okay? And it puts us in direct control of our reality. These devils have tried to control our reality. And with them trying to control our reality, they are having us completely going against our nature. This consequence puts us back in control of our reality. That's what the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars do. Salats. This is how we firm and tone our hearts. Your voice is connected to your heart through the circulatory system. You can always tell the state of someone's heart through their voice. Okay, and when you go to the doctor, I don't care if you go for a cut, a sprained leg, a toothache, they're always going to check the state of your heart first. Because the state of your heart, it explains what's going on with the rest of your body. Salats, we carefully, slowly recite the words of the Quran. The Quran is a mathematical language spoken by Allah Himself. And with our voices being connected to our hearts, and how I explained that you can always tell the state of someone's heart through their voice, we have reversed this process by using our voice to firm and tune our hearts. This is not to be confused with having a strong heart. You can have a strong heart just from running every day. However, that does not mean that you have a firm heart. A firm heart is what is needed to keep us from being impulsive, irrational, emotional. That's how these devils are. Okay, anytime something rubs them the wrong way, they need a drink, they need their drugs, they need to see their psychologist, their psychiatrist. Farrakhan has brought Scientology into the NOI, and they have an auditing process where you tell all your business, and you are being blackmailed to pay this money in order for your business to remain a secret. Salat keeps you from looking outside of yourself to get rid of trauma, baggage, okay, or any type of emotions and impulses. And so, like I said, these 5 mathematical pillars of Islam put us back in control of our own reality. Charity, giving to those who have less. This is something we do naturally. Master Solomon has done this by breaking the 7 seals of the angel and giving us our God mind back. This is something that we didn't have before. Okay, and so, brothers and sisters, you understand this information, you explaining it to someone else. The rest of our brothers and sisters who have no clue or have not gotten this message is charity in itself. Because you're giving to your brother or sister something that they didn't have before. We do this with our children by teaching them and raising them. We do this with our families. Okay, and so we give to those who have less. Now, what they taught us in the church with this religion is you give 10% of your check to this demon preacher, this black-faced devil. And they're completely leeching and living off of our people. So as soon as you hear charity, you're thinking you have to come out of your pocket and give some money. And that's what they have done by deceiving us into thinking that money is holds any type of power or value. Not only that, this is a ploy to keep us feet in their pockets. That's what Farrakhan is about. You cannot even click onto the NOI website without them begging for money. Everyone who's in front of you claiming to have any answers about what's going on, the first thing they ask for is money. And they make sure before you lead a conversation that they let you know, donate more money and you'll be blessed. It's a big lie and a scheme, brothers and sisters. And so understand that this charity is giving to the one who has less. Brothers and sisters, you can do that right now by giving this information and message out to those of our brothers and sisters who have no clue what's going on. Because these devils and demons are working overtime to block this information. They're working overtime to keep us from applying these 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam, because they know that this is how we take our power back. Fasting, 1 meal a day. Mass times acceleration equals force. The mass is the food. Acceleration is how quickly we move, and the force is the energy. It's very simple. If you're eating 5-6 times a day, then your energy is being spent digesting food. By fasting and eating 1 meal a day, we maximize our energy so that we can use our energy on other things. Now, they are gluttonous people. They have no discipline, brothers and sisters. So they are eating around the clock and drinking around the clock. And then what they tell you is go do some drugs so you can get some energy. And this is complete self-destructing. Harmonic motion. Hajj. This is the absence of conflict. We're all on one accord, one clear-cut vision, and we're moving in unity. This is discipline in itself. Now, they have tried to mirror this discipline through their military and whatnot. However, their structure and their foundation is weak and wicked. And so that is that's something that they tried to come together to go and terrorize and destroy other nations. However, there is no unification in this reality. That's why they are in constant conflict with each other. And they are complete confusion, and they are delusional. Scriptures tells us that the Lord will have them in derision. And so these 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam, like I said, is our fuel. The angel is our God mind. It's like our vehicle. The 5 fundamental mathematical pillars is our fuel. This is what helps us or causes us to move at a fast rate, build up momentum, so that we can come up out of this gravitational vortex and overcome this reality. Our enemies, they cannot comprehend coming up out of this gravitational vortex because their thoughts are on the same level or below this reality. Master Solomon's thoughts are above this reality. His thought pressure is the full 360 degrees, and it's what allowed him to break the 7 seals of the angel. His thought pressure is what is empowering us to raise our thought levels above that of this reality. Now, this reality is going down the drain, is coming to a screeching halt. We can all agree on that. And so, if you have not regained your vision and uploaded your God mind and regained your discipline back, then you're going down the drain with our very enemies, those who are devils, demons, the time anchors like Eric Muhammad and Ishmael, sellouts, Silas, who cannot rise above this reality because they don't have the thought pressure to do so. They don't have any discipline. They have aligned themselves with our enemies. Okay, like the saying goes, you lay down with the dogs, you get up with the fleas. So by them aligning themselves with our enemies and selling out, and trying to be the big man, being boastful and cocky, and pretending that they understand what's going on, only to manipulate and deceive our people into giving them money. They have completely put themselves on the same level as these devils. And they will never be able to overcome this gravitational vortex because they don't have the thought pressure that is needed to come up out of this reality. They don't understand the 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam. And Farrakhan specifically is a devil. And his whole nature is that of his father. He is a devil. He is a devil man. That's what a demon is. And so he cannot comprehend at all separating. Even though the messenger taught complete and total separation. And so the messenger clearly defined who our enemies are. These European Caucasian devils, the skunk of the planet Earth. The lessons clearly define who these devils are. We know that they cannot be reformed. They were given a specific time period to rule. We are completely against integrating with these devils, as the lessons and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad have explained. And Farrakhan has gone completely against all of that. The biggest thing about Farrakhan is he's a hypocrite, because when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was on the scene, he pretended that he understood and was down with the message of us being God's people and us going home, complete and total separation from these devils. However, as soon as the messenger departed, Farrakhan showed his true colors, and he immediately took the nation off of the mathematical standard and started allowing our enemies within the NOI. He brought devils in the NOI, told our brothers and sisters to go ahead and mix with them and marry them. And he has completely misled our people. However, brothers and sisters, you allowed yourself to be misled because you know the teachings. And so I have some proof.
Minister Farrakhan, Dr. King dreamt of the day that children would be recognized by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Do you see a day when whites will be allowed to join the black movement? Yes. Yes. Man, I must say this. Some of my own brothers may be shocked at this, but you asked me a question, and I have to answer you truthfully. If you look at the message of Jesus, it started first very narrowly among the lost sheep. And Jesus was told, go ye not in the way of the Samaritans, in the way of the Gentiles, but to the lost sheep. And then at a certain point he said, go ye into all the world, to every nation, kindred, and tongue. If you will look at the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it first was directed to black people because we were in the worst condition. But not only are we lost, the whole human family is lost, and therefore the message has to evolve, and we have to evolve. And I'll close that point by saying, in Christ, there is no Greek, no no bond, no free, no male, no female. This means that we all are going to have to grow out of rabid nationalism, sexism, racism, materialism in order to claim Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior.
All right, there you have it, straight from Farrakhan's mouth. This is no secret that he loves his devil swine daddies. He is one of them. That's why he is telling us that we need to forgive them, and lying, saying that the messenger came for the whole human family. He's lying. And so we need to understand that what Farrakhan is saying is not for us. He is not our brother. He is our biggest enemy of the Abrahamic Covenant. There's nothing in the covenant for Farrakhan. He knows that. And as long as we don't understand that this Abrahamic Covenant is for us, he can keep manipulating and deceiving our people into giving him money, worshiping this golden calf, which is Sunniism, which is their way of ensuring that our enemies, the Sunnis, sit on our land, and that we're not even questioning or have any problem with it because we don't have any knowledge of this covenant. And so all of our enemies are working together. The false Jews are over there taking our inheritance or stealing our birthright. The Abrahamic Covenant says that we would be returning to our home in between the great river Euphrates and the great river Egypt, which is Arabia. The false Jews are sitting in a Palestinian country, Jerusalem. Not only that, they haven't been through 400 years of anything. They have not been through 400 years of service and affliction. And so these are clear, and not only that, they have not been strangers in a land that was not theirs. And so this is a clear argument that a devil or a demon would not be able to even comprehend, brothers and sisters. Anytime our people find out about this Abraham covenant, it's oh wow, this is a beautiful inheritance that we have. I don't know how we're gonna get it, but it's beautiful. The devils and demons, they want to go toe to toe with you about how they can make America great and how this land is supposed to be ours because our blood, sweat, and tears is on it. Listen to that. Our blood, sweat, and tears. Why would we want to stay somewhere that we have been imprisoned in? Why would we want a land that has our blood, sweat, and tears on it? Why would we want to be constantly reminded about this Holocaust that they put us through? And so, brothers and sisters, this angel is our God mind. It lets us know what's going to happen before it happens. The 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam is our very nature of discipline. It keeps us in sync. It keeps our timing right on point. It keeps us in step with Master Farad Muhammad. Because you can know how this war is going to turn out tomorrow. However, if you don't have any discipline, you don't understand these 5 fundamental mathematical pillars, then you will be suffering the same fate as our enemies. You can know what's going to happen at the war. However, if you don't understand how consequence works and you have a weak heart, so you're emotional, you're irrational, you're impulsive, you don't understand how charity works, so you're not out here letting our people know what's about to happen before it happens. You're not raising the thought pressure level of our people by giving them the truth. Okay? Because you don't understand how charity works. You are not maximizing your energy because you're eating all around, eating around the clock 5 or 6 times a day instead of fasting. And you don't understand harmonic motion because they're telling you that you're an individual person. Go get your bag. Worry about your money. You don't need anyone. You don't need no man. You don't need any children. All you need is this plantation and massa and your overseer. And so without any understanding of these 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam, you are not going to come up out of this gravitational vortex. You're not going to overcome this reality. And so that means that you will suffer the same judgment as our enemies, brothers and sisters. You can't have one without the other. And so, brothers and sisters, I'm going to be back with more and explaining this. And thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum.